Jakarta. It's just massive, isn't it? Often cited as one of the most sprawling, kinetic cities out there, and frankly, overwhelming sometimes.
It really is.
So if you're a family, maybe thinking about relocating, facing this huge metropolis, how on earth do you find that little pocket? The safe, supportive, manageable community.
Yeah, it feels like searching for a needle in a haystack when you first look at the map, doesn't it?
Totally.
You need that perfect mix. Good schools, safety, real peace of mind, and, well, the amenities that make family life work today.
Right.
So our mission here is to cut through all that noise, that feeling of being paralyzed by choice. We're not just listing off neighborhoods. We're trying to define maybe the two core strategies, geographically speaking, for finding family stability in Jakarta. Okay, let's dig into this.
Okay, so let's start where most people seem to point first, and that's South Jakarta.
To default, yeah.
For years, it's been the go-to, the sort of family-friendly haven. It somehow manages to blend that quieter residential vibe with, real city access. But why is it seen as the top choice? What makes it tick?
Well, I think the key word for South Jakarta is master planned. A lot of the newer, more deliberate development happened there.
Oh, okay.
And it was often specifically catering to, let's say, higher income locals and the international community.
Right.
What's really interesting, I think, is the focus on security and how it's built into the housing itself. We're talking about lots and lots of fully gated communities, compounds.
Yeah, that physical security.
Exactly. But it's more than just walls, right? It creates this sort of psychological safety bubble. Neighbors tend to know each other. There's often a real community feel that, kids can really thrive in.
And thinking about the day-to-day, the logistics of family life, those modern amenities are absolutely key. South Jakarta's got those huge, polished shopping centers, the ones designed as family destinations like Pondok Indah Mall, Senayan Park.
Definitely. Big draws.
Plus, the school situation seems pretty strong. Lots of choice, especially if you're looking for international schools.
Absolutely. For the sort of corporate class, the convenience factor is pretty hard to beat. However, we need to inject a bit of reality here, maybe.
Okay.
South Jakarta is huge. It sprawls. So you might find this beautiful, secure, gated home, but doesn't the sheer scale mean you often just swap general city traffic for equally nightmarish south-to-south commutes, driving kids to school, parents getting to work within the South?
That's the real trade-off then.
It can be.
You solve the immediate safety issue right outside your door,
Yeah.
but you potentially trade it for serious congestion just getting around your part of town.
Yeah, our sources do suggest that even with the high-end appeal, if you're relying totally on private cars, maybe using the toll roads for daily trips within the South, that can become a massive source of daily stress.
Right. Kind of negates the whole peace of mind thing the gated community was supposed to give you.
Precisely. Which is why we really need to look closely at the alternative strategy, Central Jakarta.
Okay, now this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. Central Jakarta, that's the administrative hub, historical core, cultural center.
All of the above.
Historically, you might just think, oh, that's too dense, too noisy, just government buildings and museums. Central Jakarta for families, how does that even work?
Well, the appeal boils down to a few key things. Cultural richness, definitely. Space efficiency, maybe surprisingly. And crucially, transit access.
Ah, transit. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If South Jakarta is kind of the master plan private car lifestyle, Central Jakarta is more the accessibility model.
Right.
Living centrally means you're much, much closer to the main hubs of the MRT system, the Trans-Jakarta bus network.
So you're basically maximizing your time by swapping that reliance on driving everywhere for a tactical use of public transport. Is that the idea?
That's a huge part of it, exactly. And the cultural depth is, well, it's a massive bonus if you're raising curious kids. You've got immediate access to iconic places like the National Monument Monas, the National Museum. And unlike some concrete jungles, Central Jakarta actually has some really significant, well-kept green spaces.
Like Taman Surapati, I heard that's quite a hub for community events, art markets.
It is, yeah. And Taman Menteng, too, which has proper playgrounds, sports facilities. So choosing Central isn't just about location, it's about making that cultural immersion part of your daily life almost effortless.
Okay.
And we should probably talk about the flagship neighborhood here, which is Menteng.
Right.
It's not a modern planned suburb like you find in the South. Menteng is the legacy area, beautiful leafy streets, often renovated heritage homes, sometimes on surprisingly large plots for central Jakarta.
So a historical charm.
Loads of it. But that charm comes at a premium, obviously, and you do sacrifice some of that brand new feeling you get further south. But what you gain is that absolutely irreplaceable central position.
That makes the distinction really clear. South for modern convenience, that sort of contains safety.
Hmm.
Central for cultural depth and logistics based on using transit.
Broadly speaking, yes.
But what if a family is brand new to Jakarta? They need something immediate, maybe a bit easier to plug into. We should probably look at some of those more specialized enclaves.
Good point. Let's zoom in on two very different specialized options. First, sticking within the south, you've got Kimeng.
Ah, Kimang, the expat hub.
Pretty much the undisputed expat community hub, yeah. It's known for that lively daytime cafe culture, but critically, it has a really high concentration of housing compounds, apartment buildings that were basically built for international residents.
And the sources we looked at really highlighted the practicality of Kimang.
Mm-hmm.
Things like, apparently it's known for better flood resilience than some other areas. That's a big deal in Jakarta.
Huge deal.
And you've got immediate access to those expat-friendly supermarkets like Ranch Market, Kemchik, plus dedicated places for kids like the Playground Kamang Play Park. It just sounds like a ready-made social scene for newcomers.
It really is probably the highest density of international support services anywhere in the city. If you need that smooth landing into Jakarta life, Kimang offers a pre-built social and logistical network. It just works.
Okay, now for something completely different, Angkor, way up north, the Marina District.
Yeah.
That sounds like a totally different vibe.
Radically different, yeah. This is less about finding your permanent home and maybe more about self-contained leisure and just ease.
Okay.
Angkor is really designed as Jakarta's big northern escape route. It's a self-contained resort area, basically functions as a one-stop shop for family fun.
Right.
Now, fewer families live there full-time compared to the south or central, definitely, but it's incredibly welcoming for newcomers, visitors, because it packs in all the major attractions in one place. Dunia Fantasi Theme Park, Atlantis Water Adventure, SeaWorld.
So it's like a guaranteed easy weekend activity zone.
Exactly, or even a great spot for temporary housing when you first arrive, just while you get your feet on the ground. It's contained and easy.
Okay, so we've got the big picture. South versus central, and these specialized spots like Kimang and Angkor. Now let's bring it all together, that critical decision point. What does this actually mean when you're, maybe holding a lease agreement, making that final choice? Let's put the two big ones head to head. Pondok Indah versus Menteng.
Yeah, this really crystallizes the core trade-off, doesn't it? It's essentially upscale master planning versus historical charm.
Right.
Pondok Indah, deep in the south, represents that modern, cosmopolitan Jakarta life. You're looking for modern houses, often larger, newer facilities, direct access to the big toll roads, close to those big international schools. It really attracts that high-level corporate community looking for convenience and, well, polish.
And then contrasting that, you've got Menteng, right, in central Jakarta.
Yeah.
Here you're buying into legacy, history, location above all else.
Completely different proposition.
The housing's different too. I mean, beautifully renovated colonial-era homes or sleek, modern high-rises squeeze into those historic blocks. You pay a premium for that central access and the charm, right? You're prioritizing the community feel. The walkable Levi streets, maybe the antique market on Jalan Surabaya.
Precisely. It's about valuing that atmosphere and central position.
Right.
And this comparison forces us right back to the one critical challenge that shapes every property decision in Jakarta, the traffic.
Ah, yes. The unavoidable topic.
It really is. Our sources suggest, and this figure always shocks me, that in rush hour, the average driving speed in Jakarta can plummet to as low as 10 kilometers per hour.
10. That's barely moving.
It's walking pace, almost. And that single fact, that piece of context, it just changes the entire decision-making framework, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Proximity stops being about saving a few minutes here or there.
Yeah.
It becomes about reclaiming huge chunks of your day, reducing immense psychological stress.
Exactly. So you really have to weigh, the inherent convenience and that sort of safety bubble of the South against the time savings you can leverage through transit if you're in the central core.
Mm-hmm.
For families, the choice becomes really strategic. What do you prioritize more? Is it the immediate peace of mind from South Jakarta's dedicated compounds and expat networks?
Hmm.
Or is it the educational and cultural exposure plus the sheer transit efficiency that comes with living in the historical heart of central Jakarta?
That feels like the clean takeaway, doesn't it?
Hmm.
South and Central consistently offer the best overall package for families, but your final choice really hangs on how you plan to beat that daily time sink of the commute.
Which raises, I think, an important question for you, the listener, as you think about these trade-offs. When you consider the cost, because these are premium areas, how much actual value do you place on, say, cutting a potential 60-minute crawl down to a 30-minute MRT ride? What stands out to you personally as the single most critical factor? Is it the security of those compound walls, or is it reclaiming family time?
That's a really good question to ponder. And for those of you ready to take this info and actually turn it into action, maybe start seriously looking at listings in Kimang or Pondok Indah or Menteng, we definitely encourage you to begin exploring the specific types of properties available in these prime locations.
Yeah.
A great place to start that search is moveandstay.com/quest.
Check it out.
Absolutely. Go to moveandstay.com/quest. We'll see you on the next deep dive.